All right, y'all. Left, sideways, up, down. All right, I just got off work. And I wanted to elaborate and catch up a little bit with how do you want to call it, current events, whatever. Because the video that I just put out yesterday morning, whatever. Um, a lot of the stuff was shot prior to the press conference. And obviously, I was being bullish and pretty hardcore about my support for Mickey and vehemently adamant about him being on the staff for a sense of stability, maintaining what we already had in terms of recruits, current players, etc. And I just feel like from a sense of stability, he's absolutely what we needed along with the new hire. Um, and overall, I just wasn't happy. I wasn't happy in feeling the hire by and large, of Matt Rule. Nothing personal against Matt Rule, just more or less there's just not that good of a coaching market out there. I wasn't excited about any of these guys. So with that being said, then I watched the press conference, and as it should, I mean, it's kind of political commentary to a certain degree, but as it should get you excited and interested and fascinated with a lot of the new tweaks and emphasis of what they want to do. So naturally, it's going to get you excited. Understandable. So I was feeling the Kool-Aid. I was looking at the Kool-Aid, contemplating sipping it, and listening to them talk about, offensive and defensive lines, physical play, fast physical play. And when you correlate that with some of the research that I didn't do a lot, but I did go back and watch a lot of Baylor, what was it, 2019, 2018. And the 2019 team was the one that was really good. I think they were like 11-2 or something like that. And then they lost to Georgia, really good Georgia team, which had the best defense in the country in the Sugar Bowl. Um, Taking what he was saying in terms of the defense and defensive philosophies and things like that, um, I'm gonna go on. I'm gonna say, catching up. I'm gonna say the things that, for the most part, I've softened, because I did say in my last video that there are things that I'm sure I'll soften about Mickey being retained, being one of them that would allow me to soften towards him a little bit. But one of the things that was going to soften me a little bit or would soften me, is not only the things that he was saying about offensive and defensive lines, but also watching Baylor play and how fast and physical and tenacious that defense was. They weren't that big. They weren't all that necessarily gargantuan, you know what I mean? Because in that Georgia game, they did get pushed around a little bit, but they hit hard and they were fast, and there was no hesitation in their tackling angles, and I loved seeing that. That Baylor team was legit. And the other thing that I really like of what he said is how, and this is what frustrates me so much about so many different other coaches, is how they come into a new gig, they come into a new school or whatever with, well, their suitcase. This is what we do. This is how we do it. We're gonna square. How do you want to say, a circle and a square peg? We're gonna jam it in and we're gonna make it work. And we're gonna take forever to find all our players to make our system work. So just be patient with us. Now, I've hated that philosophy. I've always hated that philosophy. Part of the reason that Bill Belichick was always such a great coach for the longest time, with next to no talent by and large, was because he took each and every individual player, saw that they do this, this, and that right, and he would create all kinds of stuff to take advantage of their skills. Sounds to me like that's kind of what Rule does. Like in Baylor, that quarterback ran a lot, but was predominantly a spread offense with a bunch of really fast receivers they had. I haven't watched any of the Temple, but from what I heard, they were predominantly a run team, right? So to the fact that he shows up, comes into a locker room, evaluates talent, and then they create utilizing the talent that they have. That's exactly how it should be done, in my opinion. And it drives me nuts more coaches don't do that. They maybe do it a little bit, but no, like, just create a whole brand new offense that emphasizes the players that you have and then recruit accordingly moving forward. Now, going back to the bad and reiterating, by and large, why I'm extremely suspicious about this guy. Listening to the Character Chronicles, and him talking to Scott Shanley, He said a few things that I was already thinking. And him saying how much money we gave this guy for kind of being mediocre, having a mediocre record. And it's almost a 500 record in college. That's sorry, your value does not warrant that. It does not warrant you to have almost a $80 million contract of 8 years. That's ridiculous, right? Um, 500 record. And my biggest bone that I have with him is, to me, he's kind of like what I've said in I don't know how many videos. He's a mercenary hire. You know, I mean, look at it just based off of his track record. That's all you can go off of. Who knows what's going to happen in the future? But if you're just looking at his track record, he was in Temple. He was at Temple as a head coach for 4 years, I think, 3 or 4. And he was like doing all kinds of assistant coaching and stuff like that prior to that, where he was at a place for a little bit longer than 4 years. But he was at Temple for 4 years, Baylor for 3, dug him out of a hole, and had a really solid season in 2019, and boom, off to the NFL. NFL, 2 years, and fired, right? Still getting paid buku bucks from Carolina Panthers, because it sounds to me like, I haven't done any research on it, but the way that thing ended was kind of dodgy, pretty shady on both ends. I think it sounds to me like there was reasons for it to be a little bit dodgy and shady on both ends, but whatever, that's neither here nor there. The point is, he doesn't stay anywhere for very long, and Nebraska's all of a sudden that special. You know, naturally at the press conference, he's going to say, we are tired of moving and we want to post up. We want to stay. What else do you want him to say? Yeah, we're probably only going to be here for about, the contract's for 8 years, but we'll be out in 5. Or, Penn State, I know what that contract with the Penn State coach is going on up there, and I'm going to get Nebraska up. We're gonna get back to those 8, 9, 10 wins, possibly a conference title, at least being one, and to where my stock is boom right back up, and we taking the next job. Or let's go give the pros another try. You know what I mean? Like, that's one of the main reasons I want consistency, and that's one of the main flipping reasons that I was so adamant about just trying Mickey out for a while, right? What's the worst that could happen? Have an extremely unified flipping team that maybe doesn't win as much as we would like, but everything else is something you can be proud of. And heaven forbid, like I said, the coaching market sucked this year. So in 2 to 3 years, Mickey's not doing as good as we hoped or whatever, then go shopping again. But by and large, I see Matt Rule. So he let all the coaches go. They're all gone. All of them are gone. The ones that made sense, Applewhite, Bush, Mickey, all of them are gone. So, as I already said, that to me, no, he's coming in, he's mowing everything over. God knows how many players are going to leave. God knows how many recruits are going to leave. Total reset, okay? He's a slow builder, as they say, okay? So, point is, Nebraska fans aren't going to be that patient. And the divided fans that really loved Mickey and really felt like he should be here, whether in various levels, degrees, whatever. And there's more that could be said about that in terms of specific details and how negotiations may have been going. But that's, we're not going down that road right now. My point is that he's not going to have any time. Fans aren't going to be patient, and if he's going to take his sweet time with his track record, say we got average seasons next year and the year after, and then all of a sudden on year 3, kind of like Baylor, or let's just say 4, or even 2, have a very successful year, okay? So once we have that very successful year, with stock being up, my point is that he has shown that he is willing to listen to offers. So in 3 years, 4 years, he either is fired and gets paid buku bucks from us, from Nebraska, because they have shown, just like Riley and Frost, that they will pay you after they terminate you, or he's going to take another job, right? And we're going to be right back where we're at. Nothing's changed. And I'm tired me personally, I'm a traditionalist, Tom Osborne style, whatever. I want a coach that is going to be here for 20 plus years, and I don't buy it for a second that, well, that was yesteryear. Now is, we're like the pros, where we're only going to have a coach for 2 to 3 years, 4 years, so do the best you can for 2 to 4 years. No, this is still college football. It doesn't have to be that way. It doesn't have to be that way. And I promise you, I've said it a million times, Mickey Joseph is going to be a good coach. He's going to be. It just ain't going to be with us. Anyway, I had to spit that because, yeah, the press conference did have me tickling a little. I was like, okay, I can get with this guy. But I keep going back to the facts, the historical facts. He's a 500 coach in college. He always leaves after 2 to 3 years, 2 to 3 to 4 years. And he's completely cleaned house, completely starting over. I'm just not sold. I'm not sold at all. Nebraska needed more this time around. Nebraska needed more. And he's not going to be here in 3 years, 4 years. And to me, that's just the last thing we needed. I'm not looking for quick wins, like quick solid seasons, a 9-3 season or a 10-2 season. And then boom, the guy's gone. And then all the reasons why we were good that 1 year go out the door. And then next thing you know, we're back to 4-8. We're back to, you know what I'm saying? Like, no, we want to create stability. And this hiring cycle was supposed to represent that in terms of truly wanting stability. Whatever. I don't know what's going to happen in the future. All I can tell you is what the hell do I know? But I am 95% sure he ain't staying a full 8 years. Not even close. So, I don't like this hire. It's all said and done. All our coaches are gone. I don't like this hire. Like I said, I did. If I'm trying to look at the glass half full, looking at Baylor, I did like the way they played defense. How fast and aggressive they were, tackling angles. That's all I got. There ain't much else to like, in my opinion. Whatever. It'll be fun to find out, right? All right. I'm tired. Go Husker Nation. Let me know what y'all think.